And welcome everybody. This is sort of a special presentation we're doing here. We're doing a rare afternoon video recording. It's currently 1:22 p.m. my time, and what we're looking at is data loss. So this morning you may have noticed that we commented about space weather. You can see we have 13 hours of missing data right there. Exactly 13 hours of data not on the beacon, so not good. We have no idea how that propagated. And so it gives us no idea of any sort of help with estimating. So for whatever reason, that data is missing. You can see Mercury jumping back and forth there. And you can see the coronal mass ejection going from ejecting to gone. And look how similar it is to what's happening on the other side of the sun. Very similar type of coronal mass ejection there in a somewhat opposite direction. And if you're not aware of what we're talking about here, we're talking about the fact that Earth is out in this direction. So this is the plane on which you live. Mercury's a solid, I forget what they said, 7 degrees off of the ecliptic plane. It's got a bit of a different plane than it's the extremist as far as the plane of its orbit. So we see this coronal mass ejection going off screen left, but we don't see the one propagating screen right. You can kind of see the tail end of it right here, but a complete data failure there. So when we look at other data products on the ISWA site, we see the same thing, missing data. See, it just kind of ends right at 7:09, and then it begins at 20. This one's even worse. 21, 21, 21. So that's kind of interesting. So anyway, I wanted to start things out by talking about more stuff about Norah Jones. Now, we did a female singer highlight about Norah Jones. And we're going to be talking about COVIDiots and doing some news crawler stuff too. But I figured I would give you some proper music to listen to. I'm going to play a little clip from this one. Now, for those of you not aware, everybody knows who Norah Jones is. But I've got an idea. What went on before Norah Jones? Well, let me tell you. Ravi Shankar. Ravi Shankar, now deceased, is the most famous sitarist in human history. Norah Jones is his daughter, and this track here is called Traces of You. It's a duet with Anushka Shankar, her half-sister, on sitar. So here's a little clip from this. So I highly recommend you listen to that if you haven't. And don't try to fair use us on that one, because that was like 4 seconds. So one of the things we want to talk about here is COVIDiots. And we're going to author a forUm topic here, just to show you how it's done. So first of all, head to smAsho.org. From there you can see the YouTube channel, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Minds.com, and the BitChute. Links to all of those, as well as links to send us emails and so on, and to donate. If you scroll down just below this smAsho banner, the one that we use on most of our social media, you'll see click here for newly unveiled smAsho forum. If you go to that, you'll see all kinds of topics there. Now, when you get to the main forum, if you don't have a login yet, you have to create one if you want to read posts. However, right now, the whole thing is entirely free, and you can gladly log in and contribute if you like. Keep in mind, if you're putting up any important information, it will be vetted, but it's completely free. And you don't have to set up a login to view. We're approaching the 10,000 views mark right now, and approaching 330 logins. So that's great, everybody. Thanks for all your contributions. And I want to start a new thread in the General Science Forum. And the new topic is going to be pinned. It's hashtag COVIDiots. So we need a topic about this. Hashtag COVIDiots. It's going to be the word of the year. And now you can host your files on here also, folks, but this thread here is specifically about COVIDiots and the inordinate response. The silly, ridiculous response by mankind as a whole. And when I say whole, I don't mean your whole ass. I mean people acting like an asshole and doing things that are just ridiculous and that make no sense. So we're going to put up an image here just to start things out. This is sort of a critique that I've made. It's a meme referencing the pandemic and the human response. Now, of course, your ancestors were through pandemics, and the reason I can say that is because if you're hearing me say this, you're not dead. So I can use some inductive reasoning there to cite the fact that your ancestors survived. So please contribute. And that's one of the points of this particular recording. And speaking of points of this particular recording, let's call Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch Project. I'll just place a video call without... And by the way, we are in the smAsh bunker right now. We've decided to relocate to the smAsh bunker. We'll see if Mr. Moriello answers. If not, we'll leave him a message. And we'll tell him that we're going to smash a bunch of hydrogen into a diamond anvil if he doesn't call back. Diamond.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going? I didn't know if you were going to be there.
Good.
Nice.
I'm here.
What do you think about a title? Diamond Anvil smashes nonsense into Smash Oblivion.
Are you recording?
Yeah, we're actually recording. I just called you in here sort of at the beginning here. I authored a new topic here at the smAsh forum, hashtag COVIDiots, the word of the year, and then I uploaded that file. I think I sent it to you on Skype. Fisher Price, My First Pandemic, and it has the whole planet with a mask on.
Oh, yeah, I saw that picture.
Yeah, I'm a master memer. I don't know if you were aware, but starting probably around 2016, I started to get pretty serious about putting up memes on the internet. I was seeing horrifying things like the rise of Bernie Sanders, which made me go, what? So yeah, I mean, I was thinking we could talk about COVIDiots, and I was going to do a little news crawling. I put up a title for this one. It's not actually streaming here, but I like to put the titles in my Twitch so people can see what I'm going to be talking about. I just titled this one, COVIDiots! Smash Forum, Tips and Tricks Tutorial, News Crawling.
I have to take care of something for at least 20 minutes, so if you want to do that at 12, I can do that.
Yeah, just call me back, man. I'll keep the recording going, and I'll go back to forums and show people how to share posts and how to upload stuff like that.
All right, I'll call you in like 30 minutes.
Cool.
Ciao.
All right, cheers. All right, so back to forums, and we can stop the noise cancellation now. Oh yeah. Back in the smAsh bunker here with the full noise turned on. So yeah, head to smashomash.com/forum and set up a login there so you can contribute stuff. because you want these things hosted on our servers, not on Google servers or Facebook servers or any other double agent fake news servers, because it's really getting ridiculous, the amount of propaganda. So part of the point of this has to do with our mission, which is to adapt no matter what the adversity is, whether it's propaganda or whatever it happens to be. Let's just read some random news stories. How about USA Today, who claims Glenn Beck put up some fake news about, well, I'm not exactly sure the full story, so we're not even going to comment on it. Let's just read the first story here in the upper left. Stunned by coronavirus, a college town slowly awakens to a surreal new normal. So if you weren't frightened, well, USA Today is going to try to change that for you and make you very, very scared of a little tiny bug that you could crush just by being like, "Hey, you!" Just like that. It's all right. I'm exaggerating a little bit, folks. So okay, you can come back. There we go. So, apparently Bloomington, Indiana's feeling the burn of coronavirus, as their whole town is probably based on a college town economy, which means places like Kutztown, Pennsylvania are probably shattered. Now, that's where I went to school for a little while, about 5 semesters, until I saw the writing on the wall, and I said, that's not the writing I want to read. And I've lost where have we gone? Okay, there we go. I clicked on that advertisement. Thanks, USA Today. We hope that everybody purchases the products that are advertised on your website. Anyway, let's see. More than 30,000 people are not there. So there's something transitory anyway in a college town. Ouch. I don't know what this article's trying to say, except that it's weird to see no people around. Let's go look at some places where there are no people around. Now, windy.com, I don't know if you're aware. Here's some news crawling. This is some custom news crawling for you folks. Windy.com has webcams. So for instance, we can head to Manhattan, right by Central Park here. Let's see how many people are hanging out. I see some humans. Check it out. That one's, man, I can't read what that time is. 1:16, 1:18, something like that. I see some humans. Please leave a comment if you've seen some humans in public and decided to run away and run for your life because it's so scary, so scary. Oh no, not humans. And that is looking pretty empty, folks. Check it out. All right, let's go to some other cities here in the U.S. just to see what's going on there a few minutes ago. Let's get a little closer to home here. We're just going to find some other webcams. All right, what do we got here? Some kind of nature spot. Please leave a comment if you've heard somebody talking about the fact that there are going to be bans on motorboats in Michigan. I guess you can have a rowboat, but you can't have a motorboat. So I don't quite understand what that is supposed to be about. All right, here we go. Scranton, PA. I was actually up north of here today. I did not enter the town, and it's looking pretty dead there, although it's quite cold. At around noon, it was like 37 degrees just south of there at Mount Pocono. I know, I was there. All right, let's go find some other cities here. How about some warmer spots? How about Atlanta, Georgia? .70 degrees there. And it's an extremely zoomed out photograph from on top of a tall building. Although it doesn't look particularly active. How about some Miami Beach? Will we see a thong? That is the question. And the camera is pointed out into the water. All right, I can appreciate that. How about Fort Lauderdale? And wow, all right, please be a better Yeah, oh, what a great camera in Fort Lauderdale. It's the side of somebody's house. Thanks, Broward. Wonderful. Great view of that transformer there, too. Just perfect. Let's head out to Key West. How many people are drunk there, you ask? Well, let's check. There's a drunk guy. Just kidding, folks. I can't tell if he's drunk or not. Look at the beautiful white beach and the white caps. The white beach and the white caps. By the way, it's not racist to say white caps. If there were black caps, we'd say black caps. If there were blue caps, we'd say Smurf caps. Being a Smurf is not racist either, unless you think that you're better than Gargamel because you're 5 inches tall. All right, next we're going to look at, how about Nolans? What the hell is this? Is this just a muddy pit or what? Come on, windy.com. Oh, all right. It's somebody's roof. Windy.com. Seriously. Give me a ring. Do you vet these webcams? What are we looking at here? Oh, just a parking lot. And no humans in sight, so no reason to run for your lives there. Let's go check out San Diego. And of course the webcams are down. Maybe Mark Dice is out offering people either 8 ounces of gold, 8 ounces of silver, or an 8-ounce candy bar. I see a human at Newport Beach. Oh my God! It's time to run for your lives! That guy might be closer than 75 feet from the camera. Hopefully he hasn't coughed on it. He's talking to customs about smuggling 16 pounds of cocaine into the U.S. Smothered in shrimp. Don't worry, folks. He's one of Forrest Gump's colleagues. It's all good. All right, let's check out Portland. How about that? How about a little Portland? See if we can find Antifa. And the camera is down, and it's of nature anyway. What's this area? All right, I see humans, but they're in cars. I wonder if they're wearing a spacesuit or not. We'll check later. So anyway, we hope you watched that Anushka Shankar video featuring Norah Jones on vocals and Anushka Shankar on sitar. Let's get back to the COVIDiots thread here on smAsh forum. So COVIDiots, don't be a COVIDiot and post something about your favorite COVIDiot story, and we're gonna find one real soon. Let's head to zerohedge.com, one of my personal favorites. And welcome to the Neo-Renaissance, folks. It won't take long to find a story about COVIDiots here at the classic Zero Hedge. Governor Cuomo reports 606 new deaths. Extends statewide stay-at-home order 2 weeks. Oh! How long until New York stops listening to those ideas? Commodity exchange bombshell. Most eligible vaulted gold has nothing to do with commodities because all of the currencies are being inflated. Goodness graciousness. All right. There's a summary for your COVIDiocy. Germany reports jump in cases and deaths. Spain reports most new cases in a week. North Dakota releases plan to open the state on May 1st. Please leave a comment if you want to open a betting pool about when liquor stores will be open in PA, or when whatever wants to be open wherever. And Share all your COVIDiots stories at smAsho.com/forum. Now, I've had to walk around all day in public wearing a ridiculous amount of protective gear, and it all has to do with not getting sued and litigation. So governments, as well as, oh, and by the way, before I forget, did you just see me touch my face? Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to touch it again for an extended period of time. Oh, yeah. It's pretty dry today, you know? So I'm just going to apply some Gold Bond Ultimate Healing Lotion. And I'm not paid. I shouldn't even shout them out. But nonetheless, see that? I'm touching my face, and I'm going to continue touching my face as much as I feel like touching my face. Because touching my face is not going to do jack shit to me. We may have to make this one a BitChute exclusive. Just kidding, folks. YouTube lets you curse. They just don't allow you to tell the truth depending on what the truth consists of. So, yeah, all right. Switzerland unveils a bailout package. That's unbelievable. I can't... Switzerland. Was tun sie? Was tun sie? Was tust du? Hast du keine Ahnung? All right, no more German. My German's terrible. Italy reports a slight rise in cases. Singapore reports another record daily jump as second wave arrives. Oh no! It's gonna be so much. I have an idea. It isn't scary the first time or the second time. Yes, it will mutate. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, yes. No, folks, it was not hand sanitizer. It was lotion. That's right. Stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll touch my face again. It'll be, oh, look, that's, geez. All right. Did you watch the drinking game, by the way? The drinking game on YouTube? It's been okayed for monetization. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. I gambled. I placed a wager down at Trump Plaza. And listen, I just have the cards not because I'm a Trump fan, just because my grandmother was a Trump fan and is probably very delighted that Trump is president. She's probably laughing at very, very high levels of COVIDiocy right now. As she was a nurse, and actually part of the reason I got into psychology is because she was a nurse in Pennsylvania State Mental Hospital. She was actually a floor manager, and she was one of those people that could get the insane, crazy person to put down the giant rocking chair and not brain anybody with it. It happened for real. Anyway, let's see what else we got on this Zero Hedge article. Just going to scroll down here. UK extends lockdown by at least 3 weeks. Man, oh man. I don't know what's going to happen here, but they're going to make sure that all of their economies devolve to the point of civil unrest. Because some of us can handle extended periods of no access to anything, and others of us can't handle 3 days without access to things. And please leave a comment if you've got COVIDiots coming out of the woodwork, as we've definitely got COVIDiots coming out of the woodwork where I'm at. Some of them went back into the woodwork because of protection from abuse orders. Oh yeah, that's right. So not only do I emit an aura of protection, some other people emit auras of protection also, and everybody's enveloping each other. Which reminds me, let me tell you about a brilliant resource that you have access to. You have access to the internet, right? Ever heard of Nextdoor.com? Nextdoor.com. You can network your neighborhood online, and since you don't know your neighbor's email addresses, most likely, you can actually have them send physical postcards to everybody. So if you've never been to Nextdoor.com before, when I found out about it, I thought it was a brilliant idea. And so I went there, and I found out that there was no next door neighborhood where I live. So what I did was I set up the neighborhood. There were a few adjoining neighborhoods, but the area where I'm located did not yet exist. So what I did is I just drew up a geographic location on their map, and they sent postcards to a large portion of the neighborhood to invite them to join. Because I don't know about you, I didn't know my email addresses for my neighbors. I don't have my neighbors' email addresses. It's not something that anybody talks about typically. Hey, drop me a line. Just send me a email at smAshomash@gmail.com. And then your neighbor like pulls out a notepad and writes down your email, like, or like puts it in a smartphone on the spot. Like, that's not a thing. So anyway, it's highly recommended, especially during times of strife. And just the fact that they send physical postcards for you is just awesome. So anyway, we've got about nearly 50% of our neighborhood are on Nextdoor. They can all share information about government overreach by code enforcement officers who think they're in the Gambino crime family, I think. You can share information about trading stuff. If you have 8,000 rolls of toilet paper and all your neighbors are out, maybe you could trade them for, I don't know, a case of AK-47 rounds or something like that. Just hypothetically speaking. So yeah, nextdoor.com. It's pretty good. It's totally free. Nobody has to pay for anything. There are probably ads or something, or there's some sort of spyware involved. But look, you gotta give up something to get something else, right? So anyway, I'm thinking about a title, The Diamond Anvil, Too Hard to Smash. Because this show is actually Mr. Moriello's idea. He's the one who suggested an hour-long show at around this time, twice a week. So we'll see what happens. Those are some suggestions. And now I want to go back to some space stuff, because it's pretty hard to stop paying attention to space when you know what to look at. So what we're looking at here is the SOHO C3 coronagraph, the zoomed out one. And we don't really see missing data on this. And we don't really see a halo yet. So there's a distinct possibility that the coronal mass ejection we saw is pointed directly at the Earth. Like so directly that we can't tell. Because the halo that we see coming out there is on 415. And the coronal mass ejection with the missing data is from 416. So here's the same view from the C2. This is just a zoomed in view of the same thing. But when you go to stereo A, you can see that right here, the real release happens right around 7 o'clock. 7:09 is when the data drops out. And 13 hours later at 20:09, you can see the tail end of that coronal mass ejection right there. So that doesn't do me any good in trying to develop a system to time these things, but better luck next time. I have a feeling that there was some kind of some sort of a CCD bakeout sort of an event on stereo A when this happened, as we don't see any of this stuff hidden on purpose. It's not because there's an alien spacecraft that's causing this to happen or anything like that. It's just stereo A probably shut down for a certain period there. Because if the charge couple device receives enough voltage, it's unable to survive. So, it's got electronic systems in there that tell it to shut down to prevent from having its boards burned to a crisp, which is probably what happened with stereo B. So anyway, let's take some looks at some current solar activity here. Let's look at the fields first of all. Here's a colorized magnetogram. And man, oh man, my internet is so slow today. I don't know what's up with it. It's excessively slow. It's probably because everybody and their second cousin are on the internet right now. And we see a little bit of magnetic organization happening down here, but not too much. And again, keep in mind, I'm quite sure that there's a bunch of plasma in between the sun and you, and in between the sun and your face. If you go outside and look at the sun right now, well, don't look at the sun. It's bad for your eyes. But if you point your face toward it, there's a bunch of plasma in between you and it, consisting mostly of hydrogen nuclei. And behind that is likely a stream of electrons. And maybe even in front of it. And I won't go any more in depth into that because I don't want people to lose their fecal matter without understanding the physics. If you're going to freak out about it, at least understand the physics, for goodness sakes. So anyway, there's a 48-hour image. And again, I mean, I haven't said it in this video, but we don't really want to cover COVIDiots or anything like that. We don't want to talk about Google. We don't really want to talk about COVIDiots or COVID-19 or anything like that. But sometimes your hand gets forced and you have to go, okay, well, I know a little bit about this stuff. Perhaps I should put some information out there to allow people to kind of consider these things objectively instead of hysterically, because what we see is a lot of hysterics and complete lack of understanding. And it's like everybody gaslights you. Everybody wants to say that you're spreading fake news on the internet until it's proved that it wasn't fake news and that it was legit information. And then, oh, is there a retraction? No, of course. Yeah, maybe on page 18 in fine print there'll be a retraction. Oh, hey, thanks for sharing that information with us there, bud. When did you talk about hydroxychloroquine? I think it was March 19th. Yeah, it was March 19th. So it's I think there's something weird going on. And speaking of weird things going on, let's play some custom tracks. I'm just going to play some stuff that you might be able to download if you buy the MP3. How about Settle It? How about that? Syndicated's pretty good. How about Syndicated? This one's available at soundclick.com/GoldenCat Productions. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to head to a website that I actually like, SciTech Daily. If you don't read SciTech Daily, check it out sometime. They've always got good information there. Sometimes it's pretty mainstream, and sometimes it's quite cutting edge. So that's always something to consider there. I don't know what we're looking at here. Air pollution is a big story now, because when you shut down all industry and nobody's going anyplace, you get a reduction in air pollution. And the carbon dioxide portion of that air pollution makes plants grow worse. I don't know if you're aware of that, but so I live in a highly polluted region here in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. There's a lot of carbon monoxide, there's a lot of sulfur dioxide, there's a lot of carbon dioxide, which, by the way, is not a pollutant. And it has nothing to do with the Earth's climate. So I'm just kind of scrolling here. I'm sort of demonstrating the way I do my news crawler service. And We did talk about double staircases. The timing of large earthquakes follows a mathematical pattern. That was a couple days ago. And check it out. Einstein's theory of general relativity proven right again by star-orbiting supermassive radio source, referred to in the article as supermassive black hole, a term that I won't say unless I'm trying to explain what I mean by massive radio source. Anyway, the point is, we want to look at observations, not estimations based on math equations. So, general relativity proven right. All right, let's read about it. All right, the Very Large Telescope, good. It's one of those giant stars that orbits the core of the Milky Way, I think. Yep, like S2 or something like that. Schwarzschild precession, as it has a somewhat of an irregular orbit. And I guess this proves relativity. Please bear with me, I need to read the article. Let's see if they have an animation. By the way, this is what's going on at the core of the Milky Way galaxy right here. We've got a whole bunch of blue supergiants, stars that are kind of similar to Deneb. Giant stars that are orbiting the central core of the Milky Way galaxy at ridiculous speeds, creating tidal forces that are just beyond comprehension. And of course, the motion of these stars is the basis for the whole belief that it's a supermassive black hole. And look, I'm not suggesting it's not a massive gravity source. Certainly it's a massive gravity source, and indeed it is S2. Yeah, S2 orbits the core every 16 years. And it apparently, according to at least current projections, does this crazy Etch-a-Sketch style pattern as it does so. So this is the way S2 orbits the galactic core, at least according to current projections. I have a feeling it's not quite as symmetrical as that, but you're only able to observe it over a certain period of time. So if it's got a 16-year orbit, there's a lot of time for other factors to affect that. But that's what the current model looks like, if everything keeps doing what it's doing. So it is interesting. What is not obvious about it is any sort of relationship where you would expect magnetic shells to be. So the system doesn't overall look electric because you'd have a magnetic shell here, a weaker magnetic shell here, a weaker magnetic shell here. And if it was all electric, you would see you'd see more red stars out here and more blue stars in here. But that's not what we see at all, is it? And that's an indication, once again, that everything is not electric, but there is an odd combination of forces going on in these regions. So it's not just electric forces, it's not just magnetic forces, and it's not just gravitational forces. It's a conglomeration of all of those sorts of things. And the real argument going on in cosmology, I believe nowadays, is what the net effect of these forces is in relation to each other. So here's an artist's animation of the precession effect. I have no idea if this is, I didn't vet this. I'm just going to play a little clip and hopefully not get copyright infringed, because we talk about cosmology practically every day on the channel. In fact, let me shrink it down I'm going to shrink it down even smaller. There we go. Now it takes up even less of the screen. There we go. So, oh, and before I move on and do any of this, let's... Alright, so here's the artist's animation of the S2 precession effect. And it's going to leave trails here and show you the way it orbits Sagittarius A star. So just this morning, we looked at the current transient X-ray output of Sagittarius A star. Here's one of the most massive stars that orbits it. And so this is the current extrapolation of its 16-year orbit, or apparent 16-year orbit. Yes, that is a giant star that's probably about as big as Mars's orbit. So not only is it a massive radio source that it's orbiting, but it's massive stars that are orbiting it. So it's quite an interesting area of the galaxy. We don't have the greatest view of this because there's a lot of dust and gas in between us and Sagittarius A star, but through the magic of radio telescopes, especially infrared, you get this interesting little scenario that's going on if you zoom all the way in. And of course, it's very difficult to, you've got to use computers to extrapolate all this data here because you're calculating the trajectories of many stars and extrapolating that over a long period of time as per their whole entire orbits. And are we going to get to the... Yeah, so there's what's going on in the core. Some real weird stuff happening in there. And keep in mind, every one of those points of light is a massive star that's very hot and has something on the order of 10 times the luminosity, solar wind, speed, and density output of the sun. So there's an indication of the way this thing orbits. And this is part of the reason why we monitor the transients of Sagittarius A star. It's one of the most interesting objects in the galaxy. How interesting is it in relation to how it affects you directly? Not very interesting. But it still is the core of the galaxy. So, while I believe that most of its energy is propagated through the spiral arms, what can you say? Anyway, another great article about S2, and I believe a compute. Let me read the last paragraph here, folks. With ESO's upcoming extremely large telescope, the team believes they would be able to see much fainter stars orbiting even closer. If we're lucky, we might capture stars close enough that they actually feel the rotation, the spin of the black hole. Again, that's a quote from Andreas Eckert from Cologne University, otherwise known as Cologne University, another of the lead scientists of the project. It would mean astronomers would be able to measure the two quantities, spin and mass, that characterize Sagittarius A star and define space and time around it. Yes, space and time. And I don't know if you're aware, folks, but time gets compressed when you get near massive radio sources. So this is a measurable thing. And once again, shout out to Eugene Bagashov. And let me close down Windows Media Player here. And let's check out another science website. How about universetoday.com? You can send us as many cookies as you want. We prefer, I don't know, chocolate chip. Brown dwarfs have insanely fast stellar winds. Not stellar winds. Winds on the surface. What is that? Coronal winds? Chromospheric winds? How about Cosmos Magazine? You know what? Since this episode is dedicated to COVIDiocy, let's do the the Swiss propaganda research, a Swiss doctor on COVID-19. Let's go and read some of the non-fake news. So today, and we haven't updated this yet, this does belong on forums, we're gonna update it. April 16th, the London Times reports that 50% of the current British excess mortality might not be caused by the coronavirus, but by the effects of the lockdown, general panic, and partial social breakdown. This amounts to 3,000 deaths per week. In fact, it could be even higher, as the British corona definition also includes deaths with rather than from coronaviruses. You see where we're going with this, folks? As well as suspected cases, in addition to corona deaths involving nursing homes which are not protected by any greater lockdown. In Denmark, the lockdown is now regretted. We should have never pressed the stop button. The Danish healthcare system had the situation under control. The total lockdown was a step too far, argues Professor Jens Otto Lunde Jørgensen of Aarhus University Hospital. Denmark is currently ramping up school operations again. And bravo, Denmark. Well done. Yale professor David Katz, who warned early on the negative consequences of a lockdown, gave a detailed 1-hour interview on the current situation. There's links to that, and we're going to put all this on forums right after we cut this video. And Diamond's calling, so I'm going to have to give him a call back. I don't know why it always rings on my phone. We've been having some phone problems. All right, turn the noise cancellation on. Diamond. What's up, man?
What's up?
So I'm talking about COVIDiocy here. Have you seen the website, the Swiss Propaganda Research?
The what?
It's called Swiss Propaganda Research.
No.
All right, so there's this site. It's called swprs.org, right? That's the URL. swprs.org, the Swiss Propaganda Research. And the title of the page is Facts About COVID-19, a Swiss doctor talking about what's going on. And we're just reading through some of the stuff. Like, for instance, the London Times reports that 50% of current British excess mortality might not be caused by coronavirus, but by the effects of the lockdown, general panic, and partial social breakdown. What do you think of that? That amounts to 3,000 deaths per week.
Well, they're claiming in UK, and this is based on people that deal with dead bodies, that there is over twice as many people dying as they're actually reporting. So there's a whole bunch of unreported dead people in the whole country. So there's lots of bizarre things that are happening. Nothing can be corroborated. There's no data set that's good to work with because every country is doing something different or hiding the truth in some way. So it's like if you were to try to take the whole data set of the world and do any statistical analysis on it, the information that you get out of that analysis is completely useless.
Yep.
Because the data going in right now is completely useless. It's all useless.
Garbage in, garbage out.
What we're looking at is just like, it's almost like, yeah, it's a comic strip. So they could, whatever they're saying for an agenda, and we're watching the agenda play out.
You, sir, are pixelated.
And it's certainly not to save lives, because 6 weeks ago they actually said, "Oh, you don't need a mask." When any normal person, if there was a pandemic and we didn't know a lot about it, you would just say, "Wear a fucking mask." No questions asked. You wouldn't say, "Oh, it's safe," and then 6 weeks later say, "Oh, you need a mask." That just shows how fucking retarded, illogical, uneducated, non-scientific, everyone reporting on this is.
I don't know about everyone. Some of us are kind of coherent.
Well, the mainstream.
I know.
I'm talking about the fucking.
No, I know. You wouldn't
the
be.
media.
You wouldn't be talking to me if I was CNN. Or your USA Today is the latest one now.
I would, and I would be sticking my foot up their ass.
Well, yeah, you get the idea. So anyway, we just
like how there's a protest going on in Michigan right now. That's nice.
Well, yeah, and there should be. What you can right now, okay, you can go out on Lake Michigan in a kayak or a rowboat, but motorboat, no. No motorboat. Motorboat. If you go driving around with a motorboat on the water, man, you are going to be... I got an idea. Don't kill yourself by driving around with a motorboat. You'll die of COVID-19, man. It's spooky. Spooky, spooky stuff. I'm going to try to screen share with you so you can see what I'm showing. Oh, there we go. Now you got it. All right, cool. You can see that, right? Can you see? Don't pick your nose. We're recording. We're not editing. we're not editing this. Can you see the screen? Can you hear me? Earth to Diamond. Diamond.
I can hear you. And I'm also allowed to pick my nose as long as I don't eat it. So I was on mute.
I don't know
that I was picking my nose.
That might be like a vaccine, but could I invite you to maybe touch your face a little bit? Just. Oh no! You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Eventually. All right. So anyway, the hell is that? Is that Cabernet Sauvignon? So check this one out. In Denmark, the lockdown is now regretted. Being quoted, Professor Jens Otto Lunde Jorgensen of Aarhus University Hospital, "We should have never pressed the stop button. Danish healthcare system had the situation under control. Total lockdown was a step too far." Yale professor David Katz warned early on the negative consequences of a lockdown, gave a 1-hour interview on the situation. German virologist Hendrik Streeck explains, and he has no streaks in his drawers from what I heard, explains that no smear infections in supermarkets, restaurants, or hairdressing salons have been detected so far. I couldn't think of anything less scary. And let me reiterate, when I went to the grocery store 3 months ago, man, what I did is, once I touched a shopping cart, I considered myself infected. And then I just didn't lick my hands or the cart or anything. And then I got done shopping. I come home. I put the groceries away. When I'm done with that, I wash my hands. And then I touch my face some more. Like, that's normal. I'm not doing anything differently now. And I don't plan to start. Except now, Pennsylvania now has... The Pennsylvania Surgeon General has now recommended that everybody wear a mask in public, and that businesses can now disallow you from entering because you're not wearing a mask. And meanwhile, Tom Wolf has been refuted by the state legislature, who are, they're saying, hey, you can't tell us when to shut down businesses, and I don't even know why that's a discussion in the first place, but it's not good, and it might not be as insane as it is in Michigan right now in Pennsylvania, but it's ridiculous. What's happening in Colorado?
I wonder if you could wear a Guy Fawkes mask in those areas. Is that a mask?
Basically anything. I mean, like now the rule is just basically anything made of fabric over your face equals it's fine. So I could wear like a nylon stocking over my face. Pretty much the whole Grand Theft Auto repertoire of facial coverings is fine. You could take a camouflage t-shirt and tie it around your face and make it into a ninja mask that way, or just the rule is just dress as a ninja. And I really want to go to a convenience store and ask somebody who works at the convenience store what he or she thinks of, everybody walking through the door being told to dress like a ninja. And what do you think of this one? What's up with the FBI's most wanted list? Are they not going to every fucking store that they want to now? Every Walmart, Target, and every place else they want to, using whichever bathroom, because they identify as somebody who's not on the FBI's most wanted list because they're walking around dressed as a ninja. And there's no fear of facial recognition anymore, man. You can do whatever you want. And
Actually, that's a little untrue, Daniel. I just read some research in the last 48 hours that shows that facial recognition is still 85%, even with wearing a mask. And that's because if you don't, even with the glasses on. So, and the algorithm is learning who the people were before with the mask on now. So,
it's just the spacing of the eyes or something.
Unless you're unless you're completely covered, it's still working.
Oh, geez.
So you have to wear a full face mask.
You have to have like dark glasses. Like the goggles that I wear, I have Belay ski goggles. I think the last time we talked, I was messing around with them. But I wear those on my head all day, like I'm going snowboarding or like I'm going to war. I'm just gonna have goggles on my head all the time, just in case, somebody's shooting a gun through a wall at me. I don't want the debris hitting me in the face. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. And I have a balaclava that I just all the time. It's insane. It's unnecessary.
I purchased a bunch of gas masks 3 months ago. Right when the outbreak started, and they got confiscated last month by FEMA. So I just had gotten refunded 3 months later from something I bought 3 months ago.
Did you say you got gas? You had gas masks confiscated?
Yeah, during shipment, FEMA confiscated all PPE at some point. And that's what's happening with the PPE issue, why some cities are not getting their PPE. They ordered 1 million units, and FEMA actually confiscated it before it got to the cities, which is causing this major breakdown in the supply chain of PPE. And that's one of the issues. So, I mean, it's an absolute shit show when it comes to doing anything. And so, I mean, none of this was vetted out. Everyone knows what happens when you shut down the economy. You tank the economy.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to turn on and we're not going to miss this 30, 60, 90-day bubble of trillions of dollars worth of debt. And here's where it gets even crazier. The small business fund that they had set up through that first bill they passed in Congress has already run out of money. And they barely, so I mean, it is a shit show.
It didn't have money in the first place. It's the government. It doesn't have money in the first place. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's spent before it exists.
They're printing it. They're printing it anyway, so why don't they just print more?
Well, the thing is, you can't know what they're printing. They don't have to tell you because they are a private series of banks, and we don't even know who owns the Federal Reserve, because while we know who owned the Federal Reserve on December 23rd, 1913, when it was signed into law by Woodrow Wilson, what we don't know is who owns the Federal Reserve. Because back then, we know what banks it was. It was MetLife Bank, J.P. Morgan, and various Citibank and different banks were the entire owners of the Federal Reserve. But over the past 100-plus years, 107 years, we don't know who owns it because of a series of mergers and acquisitions. So it's very hard to try to guess what they'll do. How are you going to know the motives of somebody who you don't even know what it is? It's like trying to exorcise a demon when you don't know which demon it is. Is that your jawbone? Did your jawbone fall out of your head?
This is an elk tooth from the front yard I found.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're not going to eat it, are you?
No, I'm going to wear it on my neck. I'm going to wrap it, and it's going to be totally creepy.
All right. You could tell people it's a part of a human jawbone, and then they'll be really freaked out. Be like, this is Cain's jawbone. or something. So what else do you know,
Nice
man?
plasma filament there.
What's that?
A plasma filament came off down here at bottom left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it came off, but there's. Did you see the missing data?
It whipped, certainly.
You didn't see the missing data, did you? The stereo A coronagraph. We got missing data. Oh shit! I don't want to see the code. All right, hold on. Check this out. Data is missing, man. Right here. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock yesterday. Right. See,
Yeah, they have that.
There's
They have
six.
that CME up on the Anvil spiral now. It's actually been modeled.
Oh, is it? All right, cool. That's good. So, all right. So look at
Yeah,
six.
it's on the Anvil and it's glancing below.
I could see that. Is it missing to the west mostly? That was my idea.
Yeah, yeah.
All
It
right.
goes hard west.
All right. Well, I guess I guessed correctly because today's daily space weather video forecasted that despite not being able to see it. Look at here. Here's 7:09.
But remember the prior small? Do you remember the prior small CME off the other side of the sun?
Yeah. Here, let me move you. You'll be able to see it.
Okay, so this is the exact opposite side. Like boom, boom.
Yeah.
Almost as if it was a comet that went around. Boom, boom. So it's the exact opposite antipode.
Yeah, but there's nothing there. There's nothing.
No,
It's just the sun's behavior.
there was a comet at the date. No, there was a comet during this 48-hour period that disintegrated at around this 8 o'clock position the other day.
You talking about Atlas?
So there was a sun-dotted comet that. No.
A small one.
This was just picked up on. Yeah, it
Okay.
disintegrated before it hit the sun, and then these CMEs went off, which typically happens. Small comets that disintegrate at the sun cause coronal mass ejections often.
Is that so, or does the same phenomenon that causes the coronal mass ejection cause the comet to disintegrate?
I would think it was the comet causing the effect.
But that would be extraordinary claims.
We proved that with Comet Ison. As Comet Ison was coming in, the sun was flaring back at it, towards it, like bam, bam, bam. So there's definitely something to be said when an electrical comet comes towards the sun, it reacts, or sparks, or discharges.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's electrical. It could just be passing through magnetic shells. There doesn't have to be an exchange of electrons there for that to be happening.
Well, these comets are electric. In Comet Ison's case, it was the most well-documented electrified comet in history.
All right. Anyway, that's neither here nor there as far as this coronal mass ejection. I just want to look at this data loss right here. So you see, here's 7:09, and then the next frame is 20:09. There you go. 7:09, 20:09. 13 hours of missing data. And if you look at the 20:09 image,
yeah,
there's a little bit of brightness right there. You're seeing the tail end of it. So that it's just
this is not a new phenomenon.
It's just
For the
disappointing.
Past, decade or more, any time a unique event happens on the sun, the sheep on the surface that get access to this data set are kept in the dark for 12 to 24 hours while they get to look at it. And then if it's not going to cause a breakdown scenario, they'll put it back up, and then you and I are allowed to look at it.
Yeah,
but this has been going on for a while.
It usually does show up, and on our channel doing the daily space weather, we look at this every day, and usually you don't see 13 hours of missing data. I don't think this is intentionally designed, because when I first looked at this one, the Stereo A Core 2 Space Weather Beacon, there was a lot of interference. There was like a bunch of dots all over this, and when this is all beat up looking like that, it's an indication that it probably took a strike, and it could have been electromagnetic radiation. What? I'm muted? What?
You've muted yourself.
Oh, that's weird. All right.
There you
Um, so yeah, normally we're able to see this stuff. When we have a small coronal mass ejection
I'm
that's
just
not
telling
super
you,
obvious.
in the past, when there's been large CDMEs, NASA and NOAA have held the data for 12 to 24 hours, and then they put it back up.
Well, that could be an indication that it's a serious one. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but when you look at
It's not though. On it, like I said, if you can pull up ISWA, it's already on there, or the Enlil spiral.
yeah, but the Enlil spiral is not even a model. The Enlil spiral is a bunch of people guessing.
Yeah, based on the CME, what just happened.
Well, that's why I'm mad about it, because if I was able to see the correct information, I might be able to get a real formula to actually measure the speed of the freaking coronal mass ejection. But this is just a disappointing case because it's not there. But anyway, when you look at SOHO, you can see I'm gonna have to shrink you down, man. It's not gonna make your voice higher. Don't worry. So when you look at SOHO, you see a halo around the first coronal mass ejection, but that's yesterday's. That's not the one that happened.
Yeah.
That's not the one that looks like it's Earth facing. That's on the opposite side. So you can see that halo there, and then also on the C3, you can see the same thing there. But that's not the Earth facing portion. But this goes into the part after when the Earth facing portion erupted. So that's an indication that it's probably pointed very directly at the Earth. And I guess I was correct. I guess I had the same estimate, at least, that they're putting on the Enlil spiral, because I wasn't really expecting them to say anything about it. A lot of times we see a coronal mass ejection that's Earth facing, and we get no response at all. NOAA just says, "Oh, hey."
Yeah.
NOAA and NASA, they just say there's nothing. So here's the Enlil spiral. I haven't looked at this today. I usually don't, because a lot of times it's totally just irrelevant nonsense. Okay, it's actually showing it's showing no earthly impact. Possibly on the 20. No, it's not. Is it showing it? I don't even know. I guess.
Yeah. No, you need
Yeah, it
go to
is.
the Enlil spiral.
Oh, on the ISWA
You can
page.
see it way better on the.
On the ISWA
Yeah,
page. All right.
they actually have the CME. Yeah, you can see the wave come off, and it's really much better.
All right. And where is that one? Do you remember?
And then you can see I could pull it up.
There's a whole bunch of different ones. I just don't know which page it's on, because I don't look at it too much. It's not my favorite data sets. I guess it must be heliosphere. All right, there we go. And please
It's at
bear with us.
yeah, gsfc.nasa.gov. You want me to share my screen?
I got it. It's just taking forever for it to load. My internet's been super slow.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's not loading.
Gotcha.
It's like it's taking forever. And in fact, I actually got to go too, man.
Oh man.
Do you, we covered
Yeah,
a bunch.
so check out the ISWA page.
We covered a bunch of interesting stories, though. You got to watch the you got to come back and watch the part that you weren't here for. Hey, what do you think about a title? And we are still recording, by the way. Don't say anything.
Yeah,
untoward.
and one thing before we leave, Comet Atlas is broken up, but a new comet was just found that's also glowing in green. Comet C2020 F8 Swan, which is going to close approach in 3 weeks. And this should estimated to be a magnitude 2.4. And so we do have a replacement for a visible comet at the same time.
I had to stab the coronavirus there. You know, I don't know if you ever heard me say it. While the pen may be mightier than the sword, thou shalt carry both. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get back to
Where
this.
do you,
Are you thinking? Go ahead.
nothing.
I'm putting you full screen. Oh, it's not working. Oh wait, did you lose
So
screen share?
the CME is going to hit, the CME is going to hit Mars
All right, that's cool. Maybe something will happen.
directly.
Let's hope
Yeah,
something
direct
happens.
hit on Mars.
You think so?
It's also going to head, yeah, it's also going to head through Stereo B. So that satellite should have some major disruptions.
Well, it's already broken. That thing
So
hasn't
Stereo
worked.
B is right in front of Mars.
Stereo B
Yeah.
hasn't worked.
Okay. So that's a,
Stereo B is already busted. It hasn't worked since like 2014. I want to say. Only a couple things like the
okay. So that
magnetometer
doesn't
work on
matter then.
Stereo B. But yeah, we'll definitely watch it. I mean, so yeah, I mean, one of the main things that we're doing here in this video is the COVIDiots section. So we put up some information about the Swiss propaganda research, but also um, the smashmash.com/forum section. We authored a new section at the beginning of this video, Diamond, called COVIDiots, Word of the Year. And then we put up this file, Fisher Price, My First Pandemic. And it's like, dude, your ancestors survived it. Chances are you will too. Chances are, I don't even know if do you think it's chances are you've already been exposed by this point, like everybody on the whole planet, or what?
I think up to a quarter of the population at this point could have it or have had it.
So like well over a billion. Yeah, I'd say that. Probably 1 to 2 billion have probably already been exposed and are either immune already, developing antibodies as we speak, spike pile driving it as we speak, taking hydroxychloroquine, or maybe
Yeah, because
killing himself
I
with fish
mean,
cleaner.
based based on the transmissibility that we can see in like old HOs and stuff, and the papers coming out that a single cough droplet could go like 3 aisles in a supermarket.
Oh yeah, it's
A
very
mask is going to
transmissible.
do nothing. It's going to do
Very
nothing. I mean, it's crazy.
It's
So
very
these masks are
transmissible.
only going to make the people wearing them get it faster. That's all
Yeah,
the masks are going to do.
you can keep
They're going to help
reinfecting
everyone
yourself.
get it
Absolutely.
faster.
Yep. If you have it,
Yeah.
you can breathe into the mask and inhale more virus. And breathe into the mask, you're better off going out and like coughing on a bush out in the woods or something than you are. But anyway,
Yeah, very important part to staying safe is to get exposed to sun. You need 3 hours of outdoor sun activity every day
there you go.
just to get the vitamin D levels you need to keep your immune system in
Yeah.
tip-top shape.
Yeah, and if you're staying shut in, please supplement with some vitamin D. It's a big deal. You know, don't overdo it with vitamin D and calcium. That's how you get kidney stones and things like that. Have a little less than your USRDA of calcium and a little more of your USRDA of vitamin D. That way you can't screw yourself up too much. But if you're living in a bunker all day because you're so horrified of COVID-19, supplement the correct things. Understand what's going on with your nutrition, right? You're probably not a supplement guy, are you?
Always. You have no idea what I take.
Well, maybe the next episode we should cover some of that.
Yeah, it's a simple protocol. I drink it every day in a juice. It has like 30 nutrients in it, including mostly like different types of seaweed.
Ah, okay, that's a
Simply
good one.
because natural plant products have all the micronutrients you need. So if you're taking all the micronutrients you could need, then you could probably never get sick, right?
Pretty much. You'd be like, hey, you see that, and you'd be like that. Your immune system is like a billion times more sophisticated than any vaccine or drug or anything like that. It's taken at least millions, probably billions of years to form. So, you really trust the government over your own immune system? Personally, not buying it.
Well, you add the body's natural ability to heal through the brain and the mind,
Yeah, that too.
and
Yeah.
then you're all over it.
Even the
But if
placebo
you have a
effect.
weakened immune system, you eat, yeah, and you eat shitty food, and
Yeah.
you could literally give yourself a disease.
Yeah, you're overworked, you're underpaid, you're stressed about stupid shit, you're overexerted in terms of your credit, in terms of everything that you're doing. I mean, not everybody is a pro cyclist or a pro rock climber or something like that. Like the way that we think about things like nutrition and athletic performance are completely out of whack with most of society. But, I think there's a lot of important understanding there to kind of share with people so they become less COVIDiotic, perhaps.
It's a little late for that when the majority of the population has been so brainwashed. They have a long way to go.
Hey, check it out. Can you? Am I still screen sharing here because my websites are just
Mm-hmm.
flowing into my shirt? Is that awesome or what? It's better than CNN's
Yeah, they
banner.
are.
CNN's banner is bullshit. This is the real deal. Look, yeah. And as far as that goes, that can fuck off.
And you need to make that flow into your mouth. So open your mouth and get a little lower.
Yeah. Go to
There it is.
smAsho
That's it
Mash.
right there. Right there. There it is.
Patreon.com slash
That's
smAsho
it.
Mash is feeding us right now.
Arr, 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 arr.
All right,
That
man.
was good. I
Hey,
like that.
so all right, we're gonna close
I
this
got to
thing
see the
out. This
pig.
this is this is an hour and 16-minute video. We're just gonna upload the whole thing raw. Whatever happened, it's gonna be there. Take highlights, take clips. I'll upload it to Drive so that you can, download it and use it however you want. Also, the whole thing, the part even that you're not on, it's totally unedited, and I'm just gonna upload it in raw form.
All right.
All right,
Perfect.
all right, man. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, man. Cheers. Don't be a stranger.